How's it going, everybody? Tony here from Kapowcast, and it's finally happened. The reuniting of the original trio after COVID.
Hell yeah.
Here with Jeffersons, Triple J, and
what's up, everybody?
Michael,
Hi.
Abomination Pooza.
We got Cody here. It would be a manly sandwich.
It would. And we've returned with some great news. And if you look over here at Mike and Jeff, you can tell maybe a one or two clues sitting in their frame there. We were be talking about the Black Widow movie that has finally dropped after a year and a half of waiting.
Can I add real quick, just a quick apology, because it's bound to happen. We're in my kitchen, and you're gonna hear my dogs. It's gonna happen. If I get up in the middle of this and let them out.
But yeah, we're going to be talking about Black Widow, and there's actually something before we get started that I feel like we should share. This was my first time back in the theater post COVID. Wow. Mike, you've went one time before this, right?
Yeah.
And
I
Jeff
went and saw King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, this was my first time. Mike, what were your feelings going back into the theater?
Arousal.
Yeah, no, it was nice. It was good. I was glad to be there again, and it just felt like home. No, because there's a certain weird thing about, especially going to a Marvel movie, just going to the movies and having that excitement again. Nobody was wearing masks. People were licking each other's faces.
Just breathing all over each other.
45 minutes in, busting out in an orgy.
I will say it was very strange where we went, because I always buy my movie tickets on my phone, and I just usually walk in, have them scan it, and I go on my way. There wasn't even anybody there to do that. There was nobody taking tickets, nobody scanning anything. This is a fucking free-for-all.
Chaos.
It's just, I was about to just say, organized chaos.
Well, it was the honor system, I guess. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know if they're banking on people sitting in other people's seat.
I don't know.
But I didn't see any ushers, now that I think about it.
Every time I've been to the movies, it's been a ghost town. Although it looked pretty packed at MJR.
When we went in, because we went to the 7 o'clock showing.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't bad, but when we came out, the lobby was pretty packed.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, enjoy it while you can, because they're gonna all lock down again in October.
Don't say that. Do not say that.
They're already. I've already seen stuff talking about how it's possibly going to happen again.
Certain things are happening, and I don't give a shit anymore.
Hell yeah.
Just fuck it all. I'm not doing this again.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just realized.
Yeah. No, it's happening. It's going on.
Fucking happening.
Fuck it all. I'm not postponing it again. If anybody's wondering, I'm talking about my wedding. So okay, yeah. I've always been on the side of the coin of just I'm just gonna stream everything. Why would I want to go out to a theater when I have everything about a theater here at home? And I could say that I was completely wrong. I went in and I sat down, and the Marvel Syndicate opening thing rolled, and I got just goosebumps and chills just all over my body. I was like, oh, that's why we come back.
Did you guys have an absurd amount of trailers?
Yes.
Yeah, but I honestly didn't mind it. I was caught up in the moment of actually being able to sit and have trailers before a movie again. So I was just all about all the trailers.
When I bought my ticket, it said the movie was going to run from about 7 o'clock to 9:13. We got out, it was 9:30.
Okay.
So,
Who would be able to figure that
15 minutes of trailers?
It felt like 20.
Yeah. Ours was about 20 minutes. I saw ours at Cinemark. I'd seen maybe 2 movies during the COVID. I saw Mortal Kombat and something else. It must have really left an impression on me because I can't remember.
Was it the Nobody? Was it Nobody? I feel like you'd see Nobody.
Wait, what?
The one with the guy from Better Call Saul, where he's
Oh yeah, I wanted to see that, but no, it wasn't. Man. Anyways, I was really excited. I was wondering what the presence would be like in the theater because every time I've been to a theater during the COVID, all like 2 or 3 times, it's just been a total ghost town. But it actually filled up pretty good. It just, it's just like getting on a bike. It was the exact same experience, watching people, kind of overhearing them talk about, oh, who's that? And, what do you think's going to happen in this movie? It's just a magical portal through time.
It's weird because like this is like the last thing I've yet to do afterwards, and I guess it shows like how deep and grooved it is in my life, or was, that when we got back in, there was the first moment of normalcy that I've actually felt a sense of normal again.
100%.
I know.
It's fucking
I actually
weird.
was thinking about it when we were on our way there. I was like, this summer, last summer was a complete wash, but like, I felt like summer hadn't really kicked off. Like here we are like past 4th of July, and I still feel like we're in this weird, like in between thing. And I think part of that was Marvel movies for the past 10 years have been that introduction into the summer movie season and summertime and all this other stuff. It's just been associated, and Marvel, the Marvel movie experience was what was missing, I think. In, people can call me a Marvel fanboy all they want, whatever. But Marvel movies to me are like the ultimate form of like comfort entertainment. Like I will throw on like Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War, Winter Soldier, whatever, like just as noise. It's like the equivalent of The Office as a TV show.
Yeah.
Like it's just the ultimate form of comfort entertainment where you can put it on, you can either watch it or you can have this background noise, but it's comforting, it's there, it's something entertaining.
Well said. Very actually well said. You didn't get that May kickoff like we're so casually used to.
And I think last year there was so much going on that you didn't even comprehend what was going on. Like
no.
It was just but this year like it really felt strange.
Yeah, last year it was October before I even knew it.
Oh God.
Now this year it feels like it's dragging by. Like I don't know what's time's irrelevant anymore.
It really is.
But we are gonna get this kicked off here.
Warning.
This is your forewarning.
Spoilers
We are now
ahead.
entering into
Turn
spoiler
back
territory. If you have not
I
seen
repeat.
Black Widow,
Warning.
shut this
Spoilers
off now.
ahead.
Spoiler alert. I have watched the movie.
Now that we know that. Now
Spoiler alert, she's dead in the end.
Now, with the whole video format, we're going to introduce a little bit of a new format to our reviews. So I'm going to give you guys some Kapowcast Oscar categories that you have to fulfill into this movie. So we'll start now with our overall thoughts on the movie. Mike, you go first.
So I told you this, I think, before, and I wasn't particularly even excited for Black Widow.
Yeah. That's why you're going first.
I felt it was a weird choice to do a movie about a character that seemingly her story ended in Endgame. I still didn't, even though I was excited to be going, I still didn't have that Marvel movie excitement. I thought the movie started off very slow with the flashback, but I really started to come around, and I actually, spoiler alert, I actually ended up really enjoying it.
Aha!
I thought it had some of, as far as solo movies go, like the standalone movies, I think it had some of the best action scenes since Winter Soldier.
I agree.
and it had that Winter Soldier-esque feel. With that being said, I do feel like some of it was too little too late.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is, aside from one scene, and that's the end credit scene, this movie I think would have been better and more impactful if it did come out between Civil War and Infinity War.
Absolutely.
And I think it would have made her death in Endgame even more of an impact.
I agree completely. I said actually between Infinity War and Endgame, have it come out between those two. Just because mostly like you don't know what happens in Endgame, but then you also get a peek behind the curtain of what happened with the movie you just seen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like when I left Infinity War, I was like, what was Cap and all them doing this whole freaking time? Like, this is ridiculous.
It almost like there could be a standalone movie of just that, of just the Secret Avengers.
Right, exactly. Jeff, what was your initial thoughts?
Well, I had trepidations. I mean, I kind of had the same feelings that Mike did. I was like, well, I mean, we're coming to this movie knowing how she ends up. So there's, it kind of, I don't know, like it's hard to be emotionally invested in a character when you know
the end game.
Yeah. No pun intended.
And
yeah.
I know, Tony, you used the Star Wars prequel as kind of an example of that.
Right.
And I think the thing with the prequels was that, like, there was still this chunk of story that needed to be told. With Black Widow, I think a lot of people kind of felt like they knew everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you kind of got the gist of the character, and this movie there wasn't any huge revelations.
Oh, no, they explained why she doesn't have a Russian accent. I like how she's the only member of her family who doesn't have a Russian accent. That always cracked me up.
But yeah, it sounds like I'm being harsher on the movie than I actually mean to be.
But yeah, I guess I felt I was in the same boat as Mike. I really wasn't sure what to expect. I actually really enjoyed the flashback at the beginning. I've always been a big Red Guardian fan. I always love like the evil version of superheroes, you know what I mean? Like the Bizarros, the Cyborg Supermen, you know. So I thought that was really interesting. I love that actor, the guy from Stranger Things whose name escapes me.
David Harbour.
He was excellent in it. Thank you.
Steph loves him in anything that he's in, pretty much.
He's great.
He is. He's a very likable.
He definitely has a lot of screen presence. I thought he was an excellent choice.
I was I was relieved that none of the new characters they introduced died.
Yeah.
Yes.
But what was going through my head is, I just had read this prior to seeing the movie, is Kevin Feige. Yeah. That's his name.
I've heard of that guy.
He recently said that they're not locking people in on these long-term contracts anymore.
That's probably for the best, right?
And I'm wondering if part of the reason they're doing that is, like, for example, you're seeing Captain America Civil War. You're like, okay, well, I know he's going to make it through because he has X amount of movies left on his contract.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that's the reason they're doing it. But like, while I was watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, any one of these characters could die. I don't know where they're popping up next.
Yep.
Another thing is celebrities have been getting into controversies a lot lately. So not locking them into multi-year contracts is a good way to just be like, okay, this person said some sketchy stuff. See you later, you know.
Bye-bye.
But I actually prefer that as well. I don't want to know that someone's going to have a 5, 10, 15-year contract or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. Like that you're right. It takes, well, I guess it doesn't take everybody out, but people like us, like, we know, hey, Chris Evans had nine movies on his contract, and he's at
It's almost like a spoiler alert in itself, you know?
Yeah. So, like, I think that's, even if it's a deterrent, if he's just saying that to say it, to basically, like, throw people off the scent. But we all know that leaks exist inside companies of that nature. So they could just be going movie by movie, but that could also end up being almost devastating for them as a company, because they go to make another movie. They want to put Red Guardian in it, but David Harbour's not available to play Red Guardian because he's shooting this movie over here. Hellboy
they'll
2.
probably just throw a whole bunch of money at him. I don't think that anyone can out pocket Disney for roles for him.
No.
I hate saying this. I don't want to say it.
Then don't. You're scaring us.
Do you think another part of it might be the whole Chadwick Boseman situation?
I mean, that wasn't the first name.
Possible?
It wasn't the first name that popped in my head. The first names that pop in my head are people like what's his face that played Red Skull.
Hugo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hugo Weaving. And then who was the other one that messed something up? The person escapes me now, but there was another actor where he didn't want to come back for
I know Mickey Rourke's been very outspoken.
Yes, I think that might have been
with
him.
Marvel.
So like those were the names, not so much Chadwick, because I think
the Chadwick Boseman was just because that whole situation was terrible.
The concept of, people are mortal in real life.
Well, and they probably planned X amount of movies around him, and
yep.
They definitely had to regather their bearings after. I still have a hard time watching that movie.
It's weird because I'll watch it and then I have to actually think about like, oh shit, like he's not around anymore. Mm-hmm. Not like it's not like it wasn't it's not that it wasn't memorable. It was more just the factor that like
it's unreal.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's such a crazy scenario that like this movie only came out 4 years ago, but this guy's no longer with us.
His acting career was just taking off.
He was probably going to be the face of the Marvel brand going forward.
Possibly. I don't think I have anything to add to your guys' overall thoughts of the movie. So we'll go into the first category, and we are calling it Show Stealer. Who is the one person in this movie that you think stole the show?
Well, I think you guys won't find it surprising when I say Red Guardian. He was oh my god, he was just such a ham. He was always chewing on the scenery whenever he was at. Like your eyes were always drawn to him. The family dynamic that they had with everyone involved, well written. Like it was for a non-action piece, it was really good character development for everyone. You made them actually emotionally invested in these crazy Cold Warrior misfits. Like
yep.
It was like watching my family's Thanksgiving dinner. Like the really off the cuff comments or like Dad, like
I kind of knew that's where Jeff was gonna go, so I was just gonna say I was like, well, he's gonna say Red Guardian, so I gotta say something different. But Yelena, like she was very enjoyable.
Yes,
like I kind of liked that subtle, like dry humor.
Yes, I liked her a lot. She definitely had a little sister syndrome in it. You know?
Yeah, I'm 100% back what Mike said. Like she stole the show for me. I was like, I loved her sassy attitude and how she like poked fun at how Natasha like was basically like a supermodel superhero.
The pose,
the posing and everything, like all that was so great. And that weird, it's weird. And I always find this weird whenever it happens with the Marvel shows, especially the dynamic between those two was overly sisterly. Like I was like, okay, like I can't believe that everybody is this great of an actor.
I think the director helped a great deal too.
Who was the director?
I can't remember her name, but I think you could tell a big influence in how, especially during that big family dinner scene, like you could tell that she wanted the whole dysfunctional family dynamic to be a big theme, which makes sense for, this crazy, secret spy Russian family of murderers and super heroes, villains, super soldiers.
Yeah.
I thought it was very fascinating and entertaining.
There was a lot of cool things about this movie. I really liked how it was shot more like a spy movie or like a Jason Bourne movie.
Yes, I definitely got Jason Bourne vibes.
I've seen people say Jason Bourne.
All the camera work screams the Bourne movies.
Absolutely, I agree.
And I was eating that shit up hard.
Could we have a moment to cheer or toast to the return of the Civil War location titles. I was like, oh, that's like this.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad we got to finally learn what happened in Bangladesh. Or not.
I know, right? Kind of a fucked up situation. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
And then she was just totally unapologetic about it. I was like, well, it's my way out. What are you going to do?
Yeah, it was totally messed up. But moving on, favorite scene.
I think I would have to see it again.
Nothing really grabbed
I will
you,
say the whole end thing with them falling. I don't know if it was my favorite scene, but it was like, this is like one of the most fucking ridiculous things I've ever seen in a movie.
That was over the top.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was pushing that line of almost being like eye-rollingly ridiculous, but at the same time,
Yeah, they were getting like Fast Furious type level stuff there. Not that I was complaining.
I mean, we've seen people go through portals, and it wasn't, when you put it in the grand scheme of things we've seen in the Marvel universe, it was like, all right, whatever.
Right.
But that's what we're at with the Marvel movies. It's just like, whatever you guys say.
Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do? Be like, whoa, this is getting unrealistic.
Hang on now.
Jeff, did you have a favorite?
Yeah, it was probably the family bonding scene. I thought, like after it was a Jason Bourne movie for about half an hour, it was a really nice change of pace, really humanized everyone involved, didn't make them seem like invincible supermen, which is like a big problem with Jason Bourne type movies where like, well, I'm just on the run, I'm beating everyone's ass for 2 hours, and eventually I'm just so good that I win, like... There's not that much emotional investment in the characters or like why they're doing what they're doing other than, oh, they're trying to kill me. I got to get out of it. That I thought was a really, almost like changed my opinion of the movie. Because at first I was like, well, this is enjoyable, but it's taking a whole lot of cues from the Winter Soldier. Like what they did with the Taskmaster was almost identical.
Mm-hmm.
Whole lot of beat. Like the villain in it was... I mean, he's kind of one-dimensional, actually. It's almost like a DC movie.
Very Bob Bosch.
Oh, I'm just a mean bad guy. I'm just a total asshole.
I don't know. He gave me the creeps.
He was creepy.
He, made me feel very, oh.
That was Jack Nicholson's right hand in the Departed.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That explains the... Did he have like a British-Russian accent?
Yeah, it was kind of dipping. It was dipping in there because you could
Still
hear
better
like
than Scarlett Johansson's Russian accent. So.
Well, they knew that she couldn't hold one for 2 hours, so they were just like, you know what? Let's just ixnay that shit. I would have to say that my favorite scene was probably the family bonding scene was really, really, really good, but the first chase scene with her and her sister. And the ridiculousness that ensued during that one, I was just like, holy shit. Like, it feels like a Marvel movie, but I also feel like I just changed the channel to Jason Bourne. And that was the first scene. That was the first scene where I was like, oh.
Was really good, too.
Which was it?
The prison break.
Oh, yeah.
The prison break scene was really... His introduction scene was fantastic,
and
too.
Like, when the avalanche was coming and Yelena's just like, this is a cool way to die.
Yeah.
That kind of tells you everything you need to know about that character.
Exactly. I real quick here, since we've kind of nailed a couple of the scenes, when her sister gets her vest, her first vest that she buys for herself.
Yes.
Did anybody have this like moment of panic? Like, oh my God, she's going to die.
Yeah.
And because obviously because this is the exact vest that ScarJo wears in Infinity War, and I was like, oh no, it's a memorabilia piece. So speaking of this is probably I thought this was going to be a bigger section, to be honest here, but I think it might be smaller. Biggest letdown in the movie.
Probably the villain. I don't really think they explored him well enough.
Not Taskmaster, but Draco.
Oh my God! No, wait. What am I talking about? Of course, Taskmaster. That was definitely the elephant in the room. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, they almost pulled like an X-Men Origins with Taskmaster. Like totally nothing in common with the character except for the look was kind of based
And the
on
name.
Look
and name.
Yeah, look, name, and power set.
Power set. Yep.
Yeah, no personality whatsoever. And then like the big reveal in it, I wasn't really that emotionally invested in that. I'm like, okay, so
I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like
the foreshadowing was very obvious.
Yeah. I'm gonna agree with Jeff. I didn't know if I wanted to go that route, but once he said it, I was like, no. Because Taskmaster's a really cool villain. He's this cool like assassin.
And a big like cult fan favorite.
Yeah.
And it's like it sucks because it's a big way to alienate fans, especially like the hardcore fans are always just gonna be like, me anyways. So
right.
Like why give fuel, why give them ammunition?
Yeah. It was weird because I was sitting on this for the past 24 hours and I'm like, well, Taskmaster was a bit of a disappointment, but if they hadn't unmasked the Taskmaster and just said, yeah, that's my fucked up daughter, then like I probably would have been okay with it. I'm more upset.
To an extent, I would have been a lot more acceptable.
Right. I was more upset at the lack of usage in the action category for Red Guardian. I was hoping to see way more Red Guardian than they gave us.
That was a big letdown too.
No shield.
No shield too. Yeah.
Like his Marvel Legends figures come with shields.
Yeah.
But there was no shield.
What's the shield look like? Does it just have a big red star on it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's a Soviet star. But that I can't really choose which one was a bigger letdown. I mean, there's
always more potential for both of them, I guess. Although,
I
don't know
guess
how they're going to develop the character for Taskmaster. Like, I don't know. I'm not even that interested in what they do with that character because it's not even a character. It's so like, it's like the Winter Soldier, except for there was no original emotional development to make it, such a big heartwarming scene. But what are you going to do?
Right.
There was actually a rumor that Taskmaster was going to be Melina, their mom.
I heard that too.
And then when I saw like Taskmaster like show up at the place, I was like, oh, it's not her.
Yeah. The only other letdown that I really had was the very end of the movie after everything was said and done. And you see General Ross rolling up on her with like 20 like SUVs. And then they just cut to black and say 2 weeks later. I'm going, wait a minute. How did she get out of that? Because that seems pretty impossible. Open field, surrounded.
In Black Widow too.
Yeah. I don't even know what you could write. But yeah, that was the other thing. I was like, okay, I'm not going to let that go. Like that was ridiculous. Like you see this one person getting surrounded and then just cut away. Like
there's a reason. I think
guess,
there's a reason.
Marvel
doesn't do anything unintentionally. I think.
I hope so.
That's a big plot hole to just be like, it's a work.
Yeah, I really hope some explanation somewhere comes in. But
they'll come up with something either way.
What was something that you guys in this movie? The biggest surprise, the thing that made you kind of go,
I liked
whoa.
it.
But yeah, one of the biggest surprises of the movie.
Probably for me, the character development. I thought it was really well done. The family dynamic, like I mentioned,
it was good
before.
character driven.
I think if it wasn't for the character development for the crazy, fucked up, dysfunctional spy family, I probably would have been like, it was all right.
Yeah,
it's it definitely had like a weird dysfunctional The Incredibles feel to it.
Yeah. Yeah, Red Guardian's definitely Mr. Incredible, 100%.
Yes.
that was exactly my thought too, was the character development. They were able to make me give a crap about these 3 new characters within the first 45 minutes to an hour.
Also, my biggest surprise was that Scarlett Johansson could carry a movie as the main star. That was like her biggest, everyone's like, can she carry a movie without it flopping?
Right. I was going to bring that up. She did Ghost in the Shell. Heard nobody liked that.
I actually did like it.
And she kind of has this history of not being able to carry the role. And then she goes and does this. and
then she
carries the
dies.
role and carries the role pretty well, does it make you rethink, like, okay, was she actually the problem, or was it the directors and people in charge that didn't know how to give direction to the film?
Well, I mean, she's been accused of being a very wooden actor, like not displaying a lot of emotion, a lot of emotional range. But I mean, she's an action star. Like, I mean, I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love so many other action stars that, you know, don't have the greatest emotional range. You play to the strength of the character,
Yeah.
play
Okay.
to the strength of the actor, and I think this did it really well. I don't think she's a bad actor by any means. Like, you look at Winter Soldier, her interactions with Steve were actually very touching and very humanizing for both of them.
Right.
So I think it could largely just be it could amount to the director and just her having a reputation that was, I think, largely unfounded.
Uh-huh.
Like, you work with what you got, and if you expect something different, then that's on you.
It's then she's been playing the same character for like 12 years.
Oh, absolutely. She's kind of like a female Harrison Ford.
All right. Yeah, I would say that I find Harrison Ford equally as attractive as well.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe just this much over.
So let's wrap this up. Final thoughts. What do you guys think? People should go see this movie, sit it out, wait
Yes.
for it to stream it.
I think you
Yes.
should
Oh,
see
sorry,
it.
go ahead.
No, I think you should see it. The end credit scene's very touching and strange. So if you've watched
Touches
Falcon,
you in weird ways.
if you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, it'll be like what's going on? Even though this was shot before that show was shot.
Yeah.
So
Was
curious to
it?
see where that goes. I know
That'd be like
Florence-
6 years before, right? Because
Yeah.
it's before. Yeah.
I know Florence Pugh. She's gonna be in the Hawkeye TV series, so we'll be seeing
boy.
things play out there.
So is the Black Widow sister going to be like a character in that? Or
I
is she
think
gonna
they're-
be on- Well, we'll see.
I feel like they're doing like a Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts angle.
I hope so. I love the Thunderbolts.
I feel it coming.
Yeah,
Or there's another like line of Avengers that is like Bizarro Avengers too. I can't
No,
remember.
Hell yeah.
I think everybody that's Marvel fan should see it just to have that joy again of going to the movies. And not to mention, once you get it home, you buy it on Blu-ray, DVD, streaming, whatever, and you do your Marvel movie marathon, I think sliding it in between Civil War and Infinity
Yeah.
War will make that viewing experience even better.
I
Just
couldn't
like-
agree more.
Just like Age of Ultron and Civil War back to back makes Age of Ultron so much better.
Right. Exactly. It's weird to think about going and doing that and how much it'll improve the viewing experience of certain movies. Jeff, what about you? Finals?
Overall, I thought it was a very enjoyable film. I liked it better than I thought I would. I didn't really have any expectations, positive or negative. The villain I thought was kind of one-dimensional, but oh well. He had good screen presence. I think they could have done more to even like talk about the seriousness of human trafficking because it's such a heavy
Yeah.
theme in the
That
movie.
opening credit scene was haunting.
Yes,
And that was
absolutely.
tough to watch. Like I was like feeling weird watching it. Like
A couple
I
of
was like,
times they really touched into something like primal,
yeah,
like something that went
raw.
beyond a Disney action espionage thriller. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I
right.
like that opening credits. I was like, I don't feel right.
Yeah.
And
I
that-
need to go
I think
home
that was
and
the
lay
job.
down.
I think that was
Yeah.
the job.
It
Like-
worked.
Like
I
to
think
to
the
really
like in a lot of ways, it took ingredients of other films, TV shows, put them all together. And while the pacing wasn't perfect, I think overall very enjoyable film, especially as a Marvel fan, but even as just a person seeing a movie.
right. I couldn't agree more. I think it's definitely worth going and seeing for multiple reasons. What we talked about at the beginning of the show with returning to the movie theaters and having that experience once again, and especially something like a Marvel movie is like a great way to kind of kick it off because they've been kind of the expedite of the summer season, like Mike said earlier. So, and not to mention, like, I've personally wanted a Black Widow movie since Avengers 1. And I was mad.
Yeah.
I was mad each time it passed by. Like, I was just like, God
I do
damn
think
it.
they did it too late. I think we were ready before.
Oh, everybody. I feel like everybody was pretty much ready.
yeah.
I'm sticking to what I said earlier about how like the movie did feel a little too late. Like I think it would have been
did
so
detract.
good if it came out right after Civil War.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it could have made it, up there with Captain Marvel,
See, personally, I liked it better than Captain Marvel.
I did
think
too.
I
That's
did
what I'm
too.
saying. Like, I think it really has the chops to perform really well.
Yeah. So that end credit scene. We got a little bit of time left. So that end credit scene. She did the whistle.
Mhm.
I thought I was gonna hear it back.
Sadness.
Dude, I was like, don't you dare respond. Don't respond back.
Alternate timeline.
Yeah, that's all that ran through my head. I was like, anything could happen. It could be a different Black Widow. It could be not Natasha. And then when what's her face, Madam Hydra showed up, I was like, what? I was like, this got a little bit more exciting.
Before we wrap up, I remember my least favorite part because it's the least realistic part in the movie. Not even close to the falling people. It was even more unrealistic. Is when they said they wanted to go back to Ohio.
Got him.
Take that, Ohio.
Goodbye.
All right, let's close this out.
Tasty.
Let's close this out with an old Kapowcast trick. So give the movie your final scores.
All right. I'll go first because I'm making the most noise. Overall, I think it was very enjoyable. If you enjoy an action flick, if you're a Marvel fan, either way, it's good as a standalone film, in my opinion. They don't really hint too heavily. Like, everyone knows who the Avengers are. You could go into this movie. They don't do anything more than reference the Avengers. So I think it works really well. The action's good. The characters are fun and entertaining, believable, heartwarming. So overall, I'd give it 7.5 hypnotized fembots out of 10. That hypno gas was like probably the goofiest MacGuffin ultimate weapon in a Marvel movie so far. Like the hypno gas and the anti-hypno gas.
Yeah, that one was like, I was like,
They're just like, okay, let's get the plot rolling. This isn't what we need to be focusing on. All right.
Oh yeah, that's kind of it. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll roll with it.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
I'll do 7.5 too little too lates out of
7.5 too littles out of 10 lates.
Good one.
I'm gonna give it 8.5 out of 10 dysfunctional families.
Hell yeah. That was the part where I was like, okay, now it's believable. They hate each other.
I feel like I can relate to these people.
Now it seems like a family.
But yeah, that'll conclude our spoiler review of Black Widow. Mike's dog is wanting.
She's losing her shit. I gotta go.
She's gotta go.
She's been biting my ankle nonstop. I'm in tremendous pain.
And as always, if you haven't yet, I don't know why, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and that little thumb up button, because it helps with the dreaded algorithm, which is essentially a Russian mobster. A Russian mobster that we can't defeat without breaking our own nose.
How does that sever the nerve again? I was confused about that.
I'm sure it's just like disconnecting your shoulder. Like you get nerve damage because of movement
All I know
outside of the
we
range.
should try it.
Yeah, 100%.
Mike, you go
We'll
first.
get together. Have a nose breaking party. And until the next Marvel movie drops, I've been Tony.
I will always be Mike.
And at the moment, I am Jeff.
Unless they're variants.
Oh, shit.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye bye.
Toodles.